So I just picked up one of the Hilbish Design Beta Preamps, and this is the setup I have right now. I have the Hilbish running into a Crown XLS 1502 drive core. Now these are highly recommended by Hilbish himself, and they are by far one of the best options, as far as I know, for running the Hilbish Design Beta Preamp. And for those of you that really dig Buzz, or may have gotten one of these because of Buzz Osborne from the Melvins, he also runs Crown power amps. So this is the setup I have right now, the Hilbish going into the Crown. This thing puts out, I believe, 525 watts at 4 ohms. Now the deal with the ohms, with the impedance, is depending on what impedance you run it at, the Crown will output different wattages. So the reason I'm using 4 ohms with this Black Star cabinet here is that at 4 ohms I get that full 525 watts. Otherwise, if I run it at, say, 8 ohms or 16 ohms, then I get less power coming out of the Crown. So you can indeed run any cab pretty much into the Crown, and as far as I know, it basically detects the impedance of the cab that you're running. But you can run any, standard 4 ohm, 8 ohm, or 16 ohm cab. However, just keep in mind that you will not get the same amount of power for each impedance rating. So again, I am running this Black Star vertical 212. Now the cool thing about this is that you can run it 4 ohms in the back or 16 ohms. So again, it was only natural for me to run the 4 ohm, so that way I could get the maximum amount of wattage. And then on top here I just have a Pile PCO 850 power conditioner. I mean, in a sense it's almost kind of overkill because there's like 8 outlets on the back, and I only need 2, one for the Hilbish and then one for the Crown. But it's definitely good to have something like that. And then I have the whole thing in this nice gator case. I chose to get the Beta Preamp without the head sleeve, so it was a little cheaper that way. And then I figured I would just run it into a gator case here. And then I was kind of torn between getting, this is a 6 space case. So this is 3, this is 2, and that's 1. I was kind of debating getting 2 separate cases, one for just the Hilbish. Well, I mean, of course there's different ways you could run it, but I was thinking of getting just one for the Hilbish and then putting, so I would get 2 3-rack spaces, one for the Hilbish and then one for the power conditioner and the Crown. You could also do the Hilbish and the power conditioner in the same case and then have the Crown on its own, which would make sense, especially if you're playing live and maybe you blow one of your Crowns, then you can swap to a backup real easily there. But I decided to just go with this to save a little bit of money. So the 6 space one definitely works great. Now let me show you what I have running in the back here. Okay, so in the back here I have the master out of the Hilbish. You can see right here, master line out, running out from the Hilbish into the first channel in the Crown over here. And that is just a TRS cable. And then of course over here I have a speak-on speaker cable going into channel 1 there, and then the other part goes into the back of my Black Star cab, which again is going into the 4 ohm section on the cab. So yes, you can just run one cab out of these amps. It does indeed work that way. The other cool thing about going with the power amp version with the preamp, is that you can run a second cab out of channel 2 there, and you'll get the same amount of power out of each side, and then essentially you'll be running a stereo amp setup, which is really cool. And then of course on the front you have the 2 knobs for each channel, which means that you will be able to control the volume independently for each cab. So the cool thing about that is you could easily run, you know, 2 different cab configurations. Like this is 2 12s. So on the other one I could have, for example, you know, a 115, or you could run something crazy like Buzz does. You know, he runs like 15s and 10s or 15s and 12s depending on where he is. But definitely a lot of really cool options with the Hilbish here. And then of course in the front you have comes with a nice MIDI foot switch. But yeah, there's definitely some really cool options in here. You know, and these are you can use these as the effects loops. But let me plug in the guitar and I'll give you guys a little tone test, because I noticed, I mean, there's some good tone videos out there, but you know, not a ton of options, and I certainly couldn't find any videos that had to do with how to hook this thing up, which honestly can be kind of daunting if you're not used to running a power amp like this for a PA or something. On that note, this is actually a Crown amplifier that is usually used to run a PA, so to run some passive speakers. But you know, the fact that you can use these, I wasn't even aware that you could use these in a guitar type setup, which is really cool. So let me plug in and I'll do some sounds for you guys. Alright guys, well, hope that helps you out if you just got one of these like me, or if you're looking to buy one of those Hilbish preamps. You can definitely place pre-orders right now. Again, this is not a sponsored video, but I just wanted to help people out that were looking to figure out how to hook one of these up, mostly. And then, you know, I figured I'd do a little tone test for you guys. So hope that helps, and I will see you in the next video.